Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in our last video, we created this little group carousel here. If I take my mouse on it, it's going to start rolling. We use little image modules to do this, really easy to do. We had a great question. Somebody was asking, can you do this with blog posts? And the answer is, yeah, you can, and it's really easy. I've got one here. I made it slightly larger because we've got a bit more content on it here. I just put the title in and a little details button. When you click on the button, obviously it's going to take you to the blog post. Really easy to do. I'll show you exactly how. Let's start a new page and we'll start from scratch. And we'll give it a name. We're going to be using the great looping system today, new feature of Divi 5 to do this. That's why I've called it Carousel Loop. And of course we'll use a Divi builder. And I'm going to go ahead and build from scratch. As usual, Divi throws in a default section, asks us to put in a row. I'm going to use a single flex column for mine today. And we're going to use the fantastic Group Carousel module. Perfect. Inside, I'm going to do everything today with a little call to action module. So I'm going to hit the little dart button here. And let's add a call to action. There it is right there. Perfect. Now here's the fun part. This is where we're going to loop it. So I'm going to go into the group carousel here. Here's our first slide. I'm going to go into our first slide and we're going to loop the slide. Under content, I'm going to hit loop element. As you can see from the pagination dots, it's added, well, 10 actually. And the reason it's added 10 is because that's the amount we've got down here in posts per page. Obviously, you can adjust that to taste. I think I've got 9 of these particular posts I'm going to choose here. So once we've done that, we've looped the element. I'm going to go down. Posts is fine. You can also loop pages, media, or projects if you have them. And you can choose a category here. I'm going to use supercars. Perfect. Now, for anybody that doesn't quite know what's going to happen next, we've looped this and we're going to be pulling in the title from our blog posts. If you want to, you can pull in an excerpt. I'm also going to add a button that I'm going to have link the actual blog post. If you're not sure quite what's going on, let's go back here. Let's go to our dashboard. For this to work, you have to have created some posts. I know I'm stating the obvious, but there are people out here that's not going to realize this. So I've got a bunch of posts created here. I've got various categories, as you can see. And if we edit one of these posts, I've assigned each of them a featured image, as you can see up here, and an excerpt. If you want to edit and add the excerpt, you can do it right here. And of course, it's got a title, and we're going to be pulling the title. If you want to, the expert up. If you want to, the excerpt, I'm not actually going to use that for mine today. And also the featured image for each post. So now that you know that, let's go back to where we were. I'm going to go into the actual module itself by just clicking anywhere on it. As you can see, we're in the call to action here. For the text part, for the title, I'm going to pull in the title of the post. So I can go to a little hamburger type icon here, or disk icon, left click, loop post title. As you can see, that's changed to my first post up there. We'll hit apply. If you want to, you can put an excerpt there. Remember, I just showed you the excerpt. Do the same thing. Where it says content here, same little icon, left click, loop excerpt. Because I'm going to have 3 slides on mine, I really don't want to use the excerpt. So let's just cancel this and we'll reset this. As you can see, there's no text in there. Fine. If there had been text in there, I would have just selected it and deleted it. That's fine. I've just got the title there. But I do want a button. Now, the button's not going to show up until we put a link in there. Button link, I'm sure you're ahead of me. We're going to go ahead, hit that same little icon, loop link. So now when they click on that little button, it'll take them to the appropriate post. Now, I want my button to say more information or something like that. Very easily done. If we go back up to our text here, you'll see a place for the button. Put in what you want it to say there. Let's say details. I think that's what I used before. Great. Now, in the background, as you saw with this little slider right here, I want to use the featured image of each of my posts. Really easy. We're still in the call to action. Background's always under content. If we roll down a little bit, here's the background. We go to the third one along. It's background image. Again, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Roll over the grey writing background image there. Hit the little dynamic content icon. Loop featured image. As you can see, we've got our image in there. Perfect. Now we've got all the elements in there that we want. Let's make this the size and shape we wanted. And to do this, I'm going to do it all in pretty much in the call to action here. So I'm going to go to my design. I'm going to go down to sizing. I'm going to give it a minimum height, say 40% of the screen or 40 viewable height. So if we roll down a little bit, height. In fact, I'll use minimum height so it can get bigger if it needs to on smaller devices. Let's say 40 VH for viewable height. Great. And the button and the title, I really want at the bottom there. So still in design, we can roll up to layout at the top here. It should be set to flex. It is. I'm just going to align the content to the bottom. Perfect. And just to show you what we've got so far, if I save draft here and we preview the changes, here it is. We can flick through the slides. We've got our pagination dots here. Perfect. And we've got arrows here as well. We flip through that way. And of course, if we click on one, it's going to take us to that blog post. Perfect. Or we can close that down there. But I want 3 slides, and I want the middle one, like we saw before, larger than the others. So we need to go back into our actual slider, or our carousel, I should say. Group Carousel. Going to go to Content. I'm going to go down to our carousel settings. I am going to turn on automatic rotation. I will do that in a moment. But I'm going to put center mode on. You won't see much difference there. But it's important we do this to create the effect I'm going to create in a moment. Transition speed, that's the speed it takes to slide from one slide to the other. Not the pause time, not how long it's going to be on the slide. Just how long it takes one to slide in. I'm going to make mine about half a second, 500 mils. I actually want to show 3 slides. And obviously, choose the number that works for you. Perfect. Now with me, I kind of want to make the titles a little bit smaller, make the button a little bit smaller, so it's not taking up quite so much of that image there. And we can do that all in the call to action module in a moment. And then what I'll do is I'll put a little overlay over it, the bottom half, so that no matter what background the actual images have got, we'll still be able to read that clearly. So I'm showing 3. I only want to scroll one at a time. If you've got loads, you can scroll 3 at a time or whatever you want to do with yours. But because we've used center mode, what we can do now, don't know if you notice back here, middle one's color there, the ones on the side are black and white. We can do that very easily as we've used that center mode by going over to design. Now, as we've used center mode, the one in the middle is our active group, this one. And all of the other slides are just regular groups right here. So if we go into the groups, if you saw the video the other day, you know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to filters here, roll down a little bit to take the color away and make them black and white. I'm going to slide that slider all the way down. As you can see, these are now all black and white. But I want that middle one to be color. I'm sure you figured this out. If we go back up there, I'm going to close up groups, go to active groups, go down to filters again. It tells us that the saturation is 100%, but it's not because it's black and white. If we just move that a little bit, that color will come back in. 100% is normal saturation. You can fine tune with the little arrows right there. Or if you want it oversaturated and it go crazy colors, pull it up all the way. 100 is going to work for me again in this case. It's perfect. But I also want this one bigger than the others, as we had back here, and also as we had back here. To do that, let's close down our filters. Now remember, we're still in the active group. This time I'm going to go down to transform. Our first little tab there is scale, which means we can make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to drag it up to maybe 20% bigger. Just grab this corner here. This little chain right here is checked, so it's going to do both axes at once. Put it to the size you want. That's a bit too big for me. And again, you can fine tune. Like I say, I want mine about 20% bigger. I think that's going to work for me. Great. Well, it's kind of covered up our little pagination dots there. I'm going to lose those. There's a couple of options I'll show you. Still in our group carousel, still in design. Let's close up our transform and active groups. If we go back to our content, we can decide what elements we want to show here. Show.nav, I'm going to turn mine off. But the other options you've got, if we look back over in design, here's the .nav. You can put it below. You can put it above. See, it's up there. You can put it over the top in overlay mode. It's kind of difficult to see, but it's right there with those buttons right there. And you can make it whatever color you want down here. If I brighten that up, you'll be able to see it. Let's make it that crazy hot pink or something. There they are right there. Like I say, I'm going to lose mine, and we can do that over in content, elements, turn that one off. We've got our little arrows either side there. I'm going to keep those. If you want to change the icon, you can do so down here. Either do a search or just find the one that you want. I'm happy with those, but I am going to change the color to perhaps a white. Again, back over in design, we'll close that one up. Arrows is just on top. Let's make that white. Okay, well, let's go back into our little call to action module here by just clicking on any one of these. I'm going to give it a bit of box shadow all around. So in design, here's the box shadow. Let's throw that one on. Just lifts it off the page a little bit. I think that's a nice little effect. Now I want to make those titles a bit smaller and also edit that button slightly. So we're still in the call to action. We're still in design. I'm going to go to title text right here. It's 26 at the moment. I'm going to take it down to perhaps 16. Obviously adjust yours to taste. And I think might just make it semi-bold as it's smaller now. Perfect. And the button, we can close up our title text now. We've got the button right here. Use custom styles. Keep this very simple. I'm just going to take that text down in size. It's 20. Let's try perhaps 14. Going to capitalize it. Button's still a little bit too big for me, so we can adjust the spacing a little bit to take care of that. We'll close up the button text. Here's the button spacing. Top and bottom, I'm just going to put a 0 in there. The actual line height of the text itself will create a gap. There we go. And if you want to pull that title a bit closer to the button, we can do the same thing with the line height on the title text there. We go back into the title text. Line height is set to 1. We just start hitting the down arrow. You'll see it getting closer. Probably going to go down to 0 with that one too. Okay, what I was saying earlier about putting a bit of a overlay over this just to make sure that text is going to work or be visible at all times. Still in our call to action, we can go to our content, background. This time I'm going to use a gradient. Remember we put a background image in there. No need for background color. You don't have to delete this, but I don't think there's any point in keeping something that you're not going to see or use. I'm going to go to the second tab, background gradient. And again, if you watch the other video, you know exactly what I'm going to do here. We roll down a bit. I'm going to put that gradient on top, place gradient above background image, which is great, but of course we can't see that lovely image. Blue's on top. I'm going to click on the blue. I'm going to take the opacity slider all the way down. So we basically got in the top half just the image. And the green bit, well, I'm going to make the green black by clicking on it. Now it's dulled down that picture more than I want. I mean, we can read the title and see the button fantastically, but the top half, I really don't want to be that dark. To fix that, we can drag our clear one. Remember, we took the opacity all the way down on this one down. As I'm dragging it down, you'll see that picture start to clear up. Just drag it down to where you want it. And you can also drag the dark one up if you want it darker at the bottom there. I think that's going to work for me. Now, before we start rotating it, let's make sure it's going to work on tablet and mobile. I'm going to go back into the actual carousel itself. Grey tab up here. Back down to the carousel settings down here, where we put in the number of slides to show. On desktop, that's going to work fine. If we click on tablet, we've got a bit of a problem there with our title. I think that's because there's some padding on the call to action. I'll adjust that in a minute, but the actual slides themselves are okay. And on mobile, that's just definitely not going to work. So on mobile, I'm going to show one slide, so it's just like a regular carousel. Perfect, that's going to work. Tablet, we need to adjust that. In fact, if I adjust it all on this one, it should work for us. Let's click on the call to action again. Back into the call to action. We look over here in design. Gone down to spacing here. Let's take away any padding left and right. See what that does for us on tablet. Yeah, that sorted that out. Perfect. Okay, well, let's auto rotate this thing. Now, of course, at the moment, I've just got my button linking to the blog post. If you wanted the whole thing to link to the blog post, very easy to do. I'm sure you figured that out. Just click on the call to action anywhere on here. It'll take you to the call to action. Under content here, you'll find a link. If you want it to take them to the blog post anywhere they click on it, we can say module link and do exactly the same thing. Hit the little icon, loop link, apply. Now, anywhere that they click on that will take them to that blog post. Okay, well, let's get this thing going and see what it looks like on the front end. I'm going to go back into the carousel, back to the carousel settings under content, automatic rotation. Default's 2 seconds or 2000 milliseconds is way too quick for me. I'm going to double it. I'm going to say 4 seconds or 4000 milliseconds. I want it to pause on hover. Yes, we want the center mode. Transition speed we've already set. We should be good to go. Let's save draft. And we'll preview. And there we have it. I can do with giving my section a bit more breathing room there. It's rolling around. As you can see, the middle one's going full color. Side ones are black and white there. If I put my mouse over it, it's going to pause. As you can see, it's got the hand icon there. So anywhere we click on here, it should take us to that vortex post. Perfect. Let's go back. And also, so it roll around to a different one. If they click on the button there, it'll take us to that post also, or the dragon post, hopefully. Perfect. And we'll go back. Let's just give it a bit more breathing room top and bottom in our section here. Let's go to the section, design, spacing, padding top and bottom. Let's give it 100 pixels. Pixels are selected by default. Again, hit the chain. It'll do both sides. I'm happy with that. Let's save draft or publish if you're ready. And we'll preview again. That gives it a little bit more breathing room. So there you go, guys. I hope that answered that question. This loop carousel is absolutely awesome. We've used plugins to do this before with Supreme modules and things like that. But now you can do it natively in Divi 5 and it's absolutely awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.